Your conference is being recorded.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. If I could have everyone jump on mute for the duration. We will have some time at the end to review any questions. You can send them either through the chat or we can open it up, and I will have my email address up on the last slide so that if anybody has questions that they want to ask specifically as they relate to their destination, they can email me direct, and we'll be able to continue having this good conversation about what we're here to talk about, which is search engine optimization and some trends that are happening. So what we'll begin by doing is sort of scratching the surface of things that are impacting our destinations with their online presence, starting with local SEO. We'll assess some quick win opportunities and then dive deeper into OnLocation with Madden. A little bit about me. So I'm a senior account manager here at Madden Media, and for the past 9 years or so, I've been working specifically in our travel and tourism marketing vertical, working with DMOs from every size, every physical size, as well as budget size. And no matter what, we really focus on building strategic campaigns based on data, results, and optimization. So that's one of the things that we really love doing, and I've had the opportunity to see this grow from DMOs using traditional media and print all the way up to using more omni-channel marketing plans and practices that use data to fuel actions and optimization. So we'll start, as I mentioned, about touching on local SEO. What is local SEO? Everyone may be familiar with the general broad term of just search engine optimization. That's just really a broad sweeping term, but local search engine optimization is anything that you do on the web to promote a physical business that makes face-to-face contact with its customers. More so, we see this in the traveler journey, but as just consumers ourselves, we're doing a lot more front-end online research before we actually visit a physical business or like travel to a physical destination. So local SEO really builds on foundational things that you would do for search engine optimization on your website into the world of listing space, and our focus here with the local SEO is that we want to use a variety of tools and services to make sure that our business listings and that our partner and membership listings are all accurate. This has just become a best practice. It's important because research shows that businesses online that have online listings and that those listings are accurate leads to a really great economic impact. The revenue growth for those that are doing a really good job with local SEO and reputation management have the propensity to grow revenue 4 times higher than the previous year and are 3 times as likely to create jobs. We always like to top the economic impact of our work in the travel and tourism industry, and even the U.S. Travel Association reports as of 2017, 15.6 million jobs were supported by the travel industry. So if our local businesses can do better, if we can be the leader in showing them those best practices, it means that our communities are going to be doing better. And it's interesting to think that this can all start with something as simple as creating a good user experience when it comes to local search and online listings. The research shows that over 90% of customers, and we can think of customers as not just people in local market, but also travelers, are looking for specific information about businesses when they're using search engines. hours, promotions, deals, available appointments are now features that are getting looped into like voice search, and people are setting these types of like booking engines and appointment schedules up on their website. So this is all really important because you want this information to be as accurate as possible for a good user experience. Some trends that we'll touch on involve Google destination pages, Google posts, what's new with that. We also want to scratch the surface on voice searches and structured data. One of the other things that we need to keep in mind as we're reviewing all of these trends is that we are starting to see that direct website traffic is starting to decline. This is due to the increase in the amount of information that is being presented on search engine results page. That increase in local knowledge panels is just increasing year over year, daily. There's different, it's becoming more specific based on like type of business, different events. So these are all things that we're having partners come to us and say, you know, my organic traffic is down year over year. Our referral traffic to partner websites is down year over year. This just has a lot to do with how users and travelers are using the web, making the web more mobile, and Google really is starting to take over more and more ownership about the data that you're seeing because they're really focused on that user experience and serving up the right information at the right time. And one of the biggest players that affects our industries as DMOs is the Google destination pages. So our headquarters is located here in Tucson, Arizona, so I've just used them as an example. But this is what you may see when searching even at the state level, specific destination level. There's links for destination travel guide that are now popping up. This also pops up to direct a user to more information that is sourced from the web. So these pages aren't pay to play. This is a good testament on why content is still really, really important because this information can come from your website. It can come from OTA websites. You'll notice that there are video listings now, so having that type of content is more and more important. And what these pages are really an intermediary between consumers and potential travelers to your website. They can be a good first look, but when a user is trying to make a decision about where to go and where to visit, this can be a critical state at state and regional levels where people will decide where they want to go. So I may know I want to go to Arizona, or I'm going to be going to Arizona for business travel, but I'm not going to know maybe what destinations are in the region or in the area that I could visit. So this can come into play both at higher and lower funnel decision-making processes throughout the traveler journey. The other key here is that this is also readily available on mobile. So in both examples, you can see that flights and hotels are readily available for booking. So again, when we talk about this being a resource at both high and lower level conversion points, the fact that it is so accessible on mobile and integrates with users' Google accounts is something to really keep in mind. And so for businesses that have their listings on lock, they may show up on that travel destination page. For instance, if I'm, one of the major attractions like the Soaring and Desert Museum here in Tucson, Arizona, if I have claimed and made sure that my business is verified, I have another tool, an outreach tool called Google Posts that will allow me to keep my business information up to date through the app and tell people in real time what's going on. Google has, again, really tried to make this as easy as possible by using their mobile app. Your local businesses will be able to access this through that app, and it's really user-friendly. The post can provide general information about a business, just news up to date, what's new type of information. And then recently, over the last couple months, they've rolled out the option to include photos, now video links, and more specifically, calls to action. So, for example, a restaurant can make a photo post to promote like new menu items. You can also do event posts that promote events that businesses may be holding, festivals, and you can also include calls to action, which is another big one. So people can like sign up, get offers right away, not necessarily for many of our attractions, maybe buy tickets or order online. That is also an option that we have there. The other trend that we want to take advantage of is voice search, or as we kind of think about it, the rise of that zero position, featured snippets, so all of that knowledge panel stuff, even including the destination pages, as we just saw in a previous example, are examples of a zero position search. And now voice search, with the advent and everybody getting, companies getting competitive with smart speakers, things that will talk to you in real time, things that are always sort of listening, our opportunity to get our information in these voice search zero position items is becoming increasingly more competitive. It involves research and creating content and thinking about what content we're putting on our websites in order for this to crawl and appear in these particular searches. What we really want to address is how can we be addressing consumer and traveler needs with those 5 whys. For DMOs, the best opportunity are lists, being the top thing, 25 things to do type list, 10 best. Those can all come up in that knowledge graph and can also be verbalized when people are using smart speakers. The increase of people looking for business information shows that it's up 75%, and people are using this on 53% of people say that they're using smart speakers and voice search on a daily basis. So taking advantage of that position zero means that the content on our website needs to be structured in a way that it can be crawled. So, you know, even though users may be finding more information off-site through search engine results pages like Google's destination pages, it doesn't mean that we are neglecting our websites. In fact, the latter. We should be improving the way our content is structured on page so that when it's crawled, these key points of content are processed and available for those rich search results. So one of the things that you'll want to do as a DMO is talk to your webmaster and ensure that these areas of your website are properly marked up to start taking advantages of these potential placements. So this sort of leads us into things that we can do today. So having these conversations with your teams and your webmasters will allow you to get started on just capitalizing on local search and making it work for your destinations, members, and partners. One of the things that is free and easily accessible, just to give you an idea or an audit of how Google and other search engines are seeing your businesses, is using a tool like Moz Local. So you can visit this website and put in any business name in the zip code. This is Smartville situation, so you'll see like the primary listing come up under that business name section, and it'll check your listings and give you a score on how complete your listings are on over 50 sites. And this can be a really eye-opening experience, especially for your partners. So as from a DMO standpoint, as teams on your membership and partner relationships are onboarding new businesses and partners, or even doing talks about marketing best practices, I would highly recommend putting this in, because this is as a talking point, because this is something that, again, is really eye-opening to see. Businesses may feel like they've got things under control if they've got social media presence and maybe they have claimed their business, but there's still over 40 other sites that are aggregating data about businesses and that travelers and potential customers are going to be using. We talked a little bit on the last slide about structured data, and this can get really technical, but to give your teams and for you to be able to talk a little bit more eye to eye with your webmaster, you can use a schema markup guide that is really going to help you with figuring out what structured data is best for you, best for your website, for the different types of things that you have, whether it's listings, general lists, different tables, structuring data so that your events appear appropriately in those rich listings. This will give you a good jumping off point as to what options are there. When we get into things that are really Google specific, again, we're kind of having all of these conversations because Google has tried to keep you in their universe, but at the same time, they're giving you a lot of resources and valuable insights on how to play that game and be successful in their space. So you can get your businesses online on Google for free by having your partners or you yourself doing perhaps partner audits at google.com/businesses. I highly recommend downloading the mobile app more and more. It makes it more and more accessible for business owners to start uncovering valuable insights. Once you download the app, you'll see what I mean, or once business owners download the app, you'll see what they mean, because you're getting information about how people are finding your listing, if they're finding it through the search engine results page, if they're using Google Maps, peak times of people visiting, actually. So we get a lot of location data from Google that gets pumped into information that is specifically around your business, hours of day that people are visiting most, little things like that you would think are insignificant but could lead to bigger, better business changes. For example, staffing and knowing at what time of day people are searching for your business and then at what time of day people are actually arriving could help you with that. And we should be using all of this data, again, to create this really good user experience, both online and in person and in physical destinations. So I would highly encourage your members and partners to verify their listings. Again, this can be part of something that your partner and membership managers or directors are helping your local businesses do. And then for Google Analytics, you can actually, once you've claimed your business listing, you can add a UTM to the URLs that you're putting in your business listing profile. The UTM won't appear in that business listing, but on the back end, you're going to be able to see actually how much traffic is coming from those Google Maps listings and those local listings from desktop search results. You'll see in the partners that we've seen do this and execute it, a striking amount. Google organic search is typically one of the highest drivers of traffic to websites, but when we start to separate it out and see how much is actually coming, especially from the attraction space, coming from these listings, it really is an eye-opener on why you should be taking the time to manage the content and the correctness of information on your website. And all of that can sound very, very overwhelming, especially if you are a marketing team of one. And that's where we have recognized that, hey, this is something that our GMO partners really, really need. We need to give them the resources to do this at scale and do it cost effectively and efficiently. So that's why we've developed OnLocation, and that's what I'll go through next. So we understand that every DMO is different. The things that one DMO needs help with aren't necessarily the same things that the other ones are. Staff sizes are different. So we've created 2 different options for partners to participate in. Both of them include what is our sort of base package, which is a 12-month program where our Google Premier Partner Certified staff conducts really in-depth evaluations of listings, key points of interest, and target areas, and analyzes what do they look like on Google, what do they look like across those 50 other sites, again, primarily Google, and then we really also focus on TripAdvisor and Yelp because they are really big players in the travel space. We know that people that are using those sites are highly likely to be travelers, so we know that those are important areas that we want to focus on as well. We'll also provide expert guidance on making improvements to the place and images on that destination page. So remember I mentioned that's not something that you can pay to play to do. It actually takes rolling up the sleeves and really diving in and making suggestions and edits so that that overall page becomes something that is attractive to potential visitors versus seeing maybe pictures of empty streets or road construction or things like that we're really highlighting and putting our best face forward for users who are researching our destinations. And then we actually will do the heavy lifting on analyzing your website and providing you that structured data and HTML code, working really closely with your webmasters or working directly within your website CMS. If you guys don't have webmasters, we really want to make sure that this is getting applied and that it is a best practice that can be carried on through your whole site. And we all know that doing all of this work doesn't do anything unless we can report on it and show actionable improvements. So reporting is also something that is included in our OnLocation program. So with our OnLocation PLUS program, we take it to the next level. So the OnLocation base program is really a great way to start. But if you are looking for more, then we also provide a 2-day on-site partner workshop where we'll work really closely with the DMO marketing teams and, again, those membership and partnership directors to figure out, hey, what does your local community need? What are your businesses really asking for? What are your partners really asking for? We want to provide extensive training on compiling content for the Google My Business listings, and also make sure that those certified workshops are tailored to fit the needs of those partners. We'll also be touring destinations' key points of interest to actually collect and generate those photo assets for you as a DMO and your partners to use for their Google My Business listings. So we see time and time again that resources of both money and time are some of the biggest barriers for partners and any business in general to create high quality assets. So we want to make sure that that's really accessible. And in addition to getting sort of our teams out on the street, helping generate this high quality asset pool that we can use from not only just for online business listings, but also for other programs, web content, social media content. We want to get people connected with those local guides because in the traveler journey, I think something that gets lost a lot of time is that advocacy component. We want people to come back to destination to visit, to travel, but we also want them to come back and experience more. So one of the ways we can do that is by connecting people connecting your businesses with the people who are already putting that information out, those people who are maybe like Yelp Elite, or Google also has a local guides program that encourages people to rate, review. This all plays into listings and how they're ranked, and so we want to create a positive community. So we'll actually facilitate a networking event with Google local guides, or perhaps, you know, Yelp Elite Squad is really prominent in your destination. We can work with those local advocacy groups and get those people who are locally in market already telling your brand story, connected with those businesses, just to strengthen that relationship and grow the amount of reviews and feet on the street through the imagery and assets that come from those Google local guides, or even like Yelp Elite programs. And then this one is more premium. So we also, because there's many more moving parts, as you can see, in facilitating these like workshops and going out and collecting assets. This program actually includes like weekly reporting calls to follow up on progress with your team. So with any of these packages, you've really amplified perhaps your marketing department sometimes of one, or even your membership or partner departments as a DMO of one or two in 220, because you've partnered with Madden to focus solely on this, because we all just know that there's not enough time in the day to really do everything that needs to be done, especially if you're one DMO and you have, you know, 200 to 500 business partners that you're trying to work with. That can be a super daunting task, and this is something that is going to help really alleviate that burden. And really the biggest value that we're seeing more and more is that the role of the DMO is evolving. So no longer are we the place where people are going for listings. They've got Google for that. They've got Yelp for that. They've got all of these other sources of information that aren't our DMO websites. And along with that decline of maybe direct traffic to your website, because so much information is available on Google, we as DMOs and as travel marketers need to help our businesses and our partners learn how to ride the wake, so to speak, rather than get sucked up underneath it or fall behind. So you are providing a true educational value and photo and video assets that people can use right away from day one for your membership and your partner base. We've seen this trend of really businesses looking to DMOs, even from an economic development side, and saying, you know, what are you doing? What are your best practices? How can we help strengthen our businesses and relationships? So this, by partnering with Madden and using OnLocation to do that, again, you're just really providing that true educational value that could be potentially priceless. So if you're interested in learning more about how to tackle more local SEO, or some may call it off-site SEO, please do call us. I will be switching over here to the chat version of my view. So if people are wanting to ask questions, please feel free to do so in chat. And I will be hanging on the line for that. And for those, maybe if you wanted to share this around your office, or share it with other colleagues who may have not been able to attend, we'll be sending a recap of the deck and this recording out to everyone who has attended, and you'll be able to review some of those things that were listed as some of those takeaway tactics. and I'll also use this as an opportunity to plug, if nobody has any questions, be sure to follow our social channels because we'll be putting together more of these educational and tactical webinars in the future. So keep that in mind and stay up to date with us by following our Instagram, Facebook,